into this evening's live, I'd like to go over a few areas that we need to discuss and what we think is going to happen going forward. As we can see, Bitcoin is up 9.2% or up over 75,700, and it continues this bullish bias, as we've talked about, with this megaphone pattern. And for anybody new, I won't talk in the past tense, but with the megaphone pattern that was set up on the cup and handle formation, Bitcoin was set up for a pretty nice breakout. The top of this could be all the way up to 115,000, but I don't think that's going to happen just all at once. If it does, there's many different targets in between. We've already met all-time highs. We came up to our first target, and now we're breaking up towards, I believe it's 78,000. And this is the narrow part of the megaphone pattern, which we've talked about. If you're new, you wouldn't be privy to it, but you'll understand as we go along this live. Rob Holklick, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over a year with the I Told You So badge. Appreciate that, buddy. I really appreciate seeing you in here. Syrian, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor, and also a very trusted mod. Hope you're having a blessed day, my friend. Messi, welcome in along with Wah Wah Wah. Mark Caston, welcome, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Great evening indeed, my friend. Jorge, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 2nd month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. JW, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. Daniel, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 3rd month plus with the XRP Meteor. Love it. Juan, UK Phil, welcome in, and thank you both for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Rick 1, how you doing, my brother? Thank you so much for being a very trusted mod. Hope you're having a good evening. Will Rob, welcome in, my friend. Salute to you as well, brother. Trading with J-Ride, welcome in. Not only in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge, sends a $10 donation as well. That is unbelievable. He says hit that like button, so let's not disappoint JW. And make sure to hit that like button. YouTube will recommend this content. The Gatman, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. I suspect XRP Healthcare is going to find a little bit of life here. Now, we'll get into that more, I promise you, the Gatman. We'll look at XRP Healthcare today. Kryptonian, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Really appreciate that. Tanya Love, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge, and I greatly appreciate your support, Tanya, and I love seeing you in here so very much. So very much. Makes my day every time. John Page, welcome in, and Syrian, thank you for the $4.99 donation. Awfully generous of the 2 of you so far that have sent a donation. That's incredibly generous. Haven't even got through the intro yet. MC Prosperity, welcome in. Long-time viewer right there and a long-time friend. Jasper, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. JW, I hope you're having a blessed evening. I know I already said hi to you, but I hope you're having a blessed evening, my friend. So with Bitcoin, we had this broadening, the megaphone pattern. This was the consolidation on the cup and handle. No, thank you, Tanya. Thank you indeed. With the cup and handle, we created this megaphone, and that is what actually is going to help us, push past all-time highs as we have now. We hit 73,697, came back down perfectly to 67,700 range, came a little bit below that, and now we've pushed back up. We broke up over 73,697, and now it looks like we're trajecting towards that next target. So the first target of 73,697 was just to hit all-time highs. The second target's the slimmer part of this megaphone pattern, and that gets you up to 78,609, which it seems we're on that trajectory right now. And then the wider part of the megaphone concludes at 86,000. Rick 1, thank you so much, Rick, for that the $10 donation. That is incredibly generous. Wow, we're having a surge of donations. That's incredible this evening. Thank you all so much. So very much. Like, seriously. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. Do you see XRP retesting all-time highs before the year ends? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Before the year ends, I'm just trying to, you want me to be honest with you? I'm just trying to break out of this cup and handle, and we'll go over it with XRP and try to push up towards that 93 cent mark and ultimately $1.18. I don't think that's going to happen this year, though. In conclusion, to conclude it. MC Prosperity, thank you so much, friend, for that $20 donation. That's not the first you've sent me. That's unbelievably generous. Unbelievably generous. But yeah, the cup and handles are everywhere. So let me just explain this real quick. So this first target here, which we've already successfully hit at 73,697, that was the retest all-time highs. Came back tested the megaphone, which was beautifully done. This was already pre-set up here, but it's actually playing through now. Now after the back test, we broke up past 73,697. That would be for the slim part of the megaphone right here. You measure the width from here to here, and then we made the target from where it broke out. And then if it breaks out and holds, then you measure it from the longer part here. That gives you the grander target up at 86,000. And then the actual eventual target, if this played out true, like absolutely true, you measure the depth of the cup at the breakout point from all-time highs. At least that's what I did. Well, not quite all-time highs because I didn't want it to go up that high. But I did it at the top of the wedge. I mean, of the megaphone pattern, but it should have been higher, and we should have a slightly higher target, but I just thought 115,000 made more sense. Or 15 was more reasonable. Yes, there are cup and handles everywhere. Absolutely. And with XRP, I know I started with Bitcoin a lot. And we'll go over a lot of things. We'll go over the heat signature maps on Bitcoin because we've touched this upper liquidity now. So now we're going to see what we formed above us now and to see if we're going to start coming lower. With XRP, we've got a lot to talk about because it seems, for me, my first target was 55.45. And that was, I know it doesn't look like anything right now, but if I take this down into like the 30-minute, we'll go over this much more here. But this was the little bull flag that I had set up here, just to come up in the short term. And that was the target at 55.46. We're not quite there yet. We're starting to make some noise over there. But I would have liked to have seen this play out before the end of the clock here. I want this to play out before 7 o'clock. Like, I don't particularly, wouldn't want to necessarily, I mean, it doesn't really matter if it waits until after the flip. It's just, right now we've got the momentum of this candle. And it's a pretty bullish one at that. So, I know I wanted it to go down to J-Rod. Showed him with J-Rod because now we've got that open liquidity gap, and it could be something interesting here. But we'll see in the next 51 minutes. We'll see in the next 51 minutes where XRP decides to go. It certainly looks like it wants to finish off this pattern real quick. And even if it doesn't go to the top, I would expect 54.97 at the very minimum. 54.97 area right here to finish off this short-term cup. That would be like the minimum I'd expect, 54.97, like that 54.98 area. And then if it got above that, the technical flag draw would be like right around 55.46. So I think we still have a little bit more to go here, even if it breaks down bearishly. I think it still has a little bit more over the top. And then we'll also take a look at AMP. As everybody knows, I bought 1 million AMP. And it's up right now about, it's up a little bit more than it was earlier. I didn't know it was at 0.0038 now. But we'll just go over AMP in a little bit. It's up like 7.6% since I bought it. So it's up a couple $100. So that's nice to see. But I've been doing a tiny bit of trading here and there. But anyhow, let me do the intro. It's been way too long. I apologize for taking forever. Please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube does recommend this live. I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. Because then if somebody hasn't seen our content, and we do this from a victimless standpoint, we are not the victim here. We never have been and we never will be in this community. So we have to be the winner. We are the winner. So we have to get all the information for news and charting perspective to make an educated and informed decision so that we can play the part properly. We do it from a standpoint of love as well. So if you're in here, we don't do the hate here. There's too much hate in the world. I'm simply tired of it. So we do it from a standpoint of positivity over negativity. And we want to be helpful but not hurtful. Understanding that the light is where we strive to be, but the darkness must be in existence as well. Otherwise, you'll never know what the true light is. And the light always extinguishes the darkness. It always does. And the darkness always shows the true light. So they work hand in hand. So we'll see what goes on here this evening. Make sure to hit that like button so we can continue to grow this fantastic community. And I thank each and every one of you for being a part of this. Good evening. 6:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, November 6th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I hope everybody has been enjoying this pump today. I hope we've been able to at least look at it and say, whew, you know, it is nice some days to see a nice bounce. Personally, I would have preferred XRP to go to that 47.7 area. But remember, all actions that don't go, so you have an action and then you have an opposite reaction to every action. So the fact that we didn't go down, now we have to have the opposite reaction. So now that force that we were looking at to go down, and I'm not sure what happened here. There we go. But our force that we were looking at to go down is now starting to shift a little bit in the bullish favor. So let's see what chart we want to start with. I'm going to choose to start here. We knew once we broke over 51.5 that we were going to push that 52.6. And what did we talk about yesterday? Right when we got over this 52.6, it validated the breakout. And it should lead us, and we have a short target here where we could technically take the target here, but we see him going up. And to me, the biggest area of concern right now is not what I just showed. The biggest area of concern is getting up to that, there it is, that handle at, see, even though the target, you could have the short-term target. We talked about that 55.3 on the short-term area. But coming up here, if we're being honest with ourselves, we should at some point again, this is the, here, let's just delete this. Forget this 56 right now, because we already have other charts that can show us the other parts of these formations. But right now, I feel like we're still trying, and we're on an overwhelming cup and handle. We're trying to break out of this handle resistance. So the fact we're pushing up in this fashion and the way we are, it seems to suggest to me that we might come retest 57 cents here as well. And we can see in the weekly, this is a weekly reversal candle. That's a pretty phenomenal weekly reversal right now. And if it's meant to not be a bullish, it could still pull up here. But we do have a big W reversal here. It looks like an inverse setup here. So it's a very interesting setup in the weekly. It looks like a very big bullish reversal. This bull flag is playing up now. And to finish this out, I don't think it necessarily would need to go all the way to 57. But if it played it out 100% and we take the top wick down, I mean, it could get it up there. We've measured the shorter part of these shorter levels that we could get to at 54.9 or 55.3. But if you look at it in totality, it could technically, we came up, then we came down, swung around. So if we look at it from the top of this, and we draw down, and then we use it, and like this is more like, instead of just, whoops, taking a short target, we're looking at it, what the hell? We're looking at an actual breakout point. So then you start breaking out when you get above that resistance. So now when you start looking at this, it lines up pretty good with that 57 cents. It's tempting. I feel like that's where it's trying to get to, but we need to break out of these short-term consolidations and see if it can actually make that final move. So we'll see. It's going to be dicey if it can get all the way up there. I believe it should, but with XRP, just because we think it should, just because we think it could, it doesn't mean it will. And it seems to be underperforming right now in a sense of Bitcoin's up 9%. It feels like there's still something left in the tank for XRP. Now, is it waiting until the flip of the clock to finish this move? Is it waiting for the flip of the clock to drop the hammer back down? You know, that's something we'll find out very quickly. Very quickly. But I prefer to see whatever the thinking is here sooner rather than later if it's going to have the break out to the top side. We've had an awfully lot of movement here today. And the fact we're up 5.8%, it's not like it hasn't moved at all. So, Tanya says Happy Trunk is back. Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people. Yeah, Ethereum got a big push up today as well. Ethereum's up about, where's it at now? Settling 12.8% right now. So Ethereum's definitely made some noise, and it seems like XRP is trying to mirror, not in a similar fashion because this is kind of like a little channel that formed and then broke out. But it looks like XRP is trying to get that little bit of a oomph to the top side. It hasn't finished this move. It has not finished this. It can come back down and consolidate some, but it hasn't finished this move yet. And if it's left unfinished, it's left unfinished. But to me, remember how Ethereum was starting to do this at the end, and then that's what I'm waiting for XRP. It's up. Now it's starting to do this, and then eventually it gets that little swoop up to finish the rest of this. And I've seen the same evidence. When this first came out, broke up, had this little double, swing back, then it started coming up, and then it continuously started correcting itself. So we'll see. We'll see how XRP decides to do this, if it decides to do this, because we had the up, we've had the up, now it's starting to correct itself. We've had a couple different, like this created a nice big W here, and it would be nice to see it finish this off. But like I said, with XRP, you never know, and no matter what you're doing in this market, it's all calculated. So we'll see if it plays true and finishes out this pattern. I'd love to hear what the audience thinks. We have 100 people here. Holy moly. 60% of you have hit that like button, which I greatly appreciate that. Really, I do. So what do we think? Do we think XRP takes this and continues to play out here? And do you think we finish off this flag and come up and at least come back and get rejected at the cup and handle if we're meant to be bearish? Or do you think we just give it up? Because this bull flag looks like it's got higher ambitions here. Now, it's XRP, so who knows if it's going to play out true. But it does look like it's got higher ambitions. Yeah, Syrian thinks so. Yeah, the rate cut is going to be, I believe, tomorrow. So that should help. That should help at least. XRP will pump so hard in January, says Messi. Jorge says up. I'm watching same as you on my chart. See if we break through 57.33. Absolutely. That seems to be the spot. And fortunately, for anybody who was in the copy trading setup, we were able to get some, some nice setups going. Being able to test out the system, and it's been phenomenal on BITUNIX, so I have no complaints. In total right now, I think we're up like 15% on today, but it all depends how this plays out as well. So, but it's been nice watching, and it's been nice seeing a setup and just trading like I normally wouldn't have to worry about all the nonsense that like some of the other exchanges. So like my highest endorsement goes for BITUNIX. It's just so transparent. Like I have no need to go anywhere else unless I need a different asset that's not on the exchange. It's so unbelievably awesome. And if you want to join that, that's in the video description below and our pinned comments. Actually, it's in the video description below, or on my homepage. But you just join BITUNIX through the link, and then after you join, get your money situated, you just go into the copy trade and you can join. Nothing special. You might lose some money, you might make some money, but at the end of the day, I'm not using a lot of money. And if you want to partake, you can. But I would certainly get it right on the exchanges sooner rather than later, whether you want to leverage, spot, figure out an exchange that you trust and you can use that you actually feel like you're in control and not the other way around. Bitcoin prints weekly over 71.5K. We start bull. But election day, I wanted to see what that said. So I want to see if XRP finishes this. We've had this nice pull up. Looks like a nice bull flag. Big sideways consolidation here. So I would love to see in time XRP pull this up. The grand scale pull it up. But in the short term as well, where I have unfinished business here. We've got a bull flag set up. It's unfinished business. And I'm willing to see if this plays out. And if it doesn't, I'll give some of my gains back. But I really feel like this needs to finish this next layer. But with XRP, I'm never surprised. Right, Julie? We are never surprised. Julie's happy today. Julie's Dogecoin is up to almost 20 cents. And now she is up We bought it back at 5.2 cents. So she's up nearly 400% since we bought it back. I bought it for just over $520 because I have just over 10,000 tokens, and then I sent it to Robinhood when it was at like 9 cents. But I bought it at the same time as XRP when I bought it at 34 cents. So XRP went from 34, and let's just put it in perspective here, from 34 to 54.39. Doge I bought at 5.2 cents, and now it's up at 19.6. So you're talking almost 400% on Doge. Over 360 for Julie right now in her Robinhood account. So now that's, even from when I sent it on a Robinhood, it started at 900. It's worth almost $2,000 now. So big difference. She definitely towered over my gains, if I'm being honest. I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna help Julie find something real quick. I'll be right back. Oh, she found it. I'm already back. Look at that. I'm already back. What a time to be alive indeed. My buddy is riding that train too. He thinks it's gonna do 30x. Yeah, I'd be careful if you think 30x from here. Doge has 145 million or 145 billion tokens, so it's gonna be hard to move it that far. I'm just being honest. But Julie, we bought it, or she had it at first at 0.000, whatever the hell it was, and made the thousands and thousands of percent. And then I sold it with the Saturday Night Live at 50 something cents. And then I bought it back for at 5.2 and retransferred it back to her at like 9.2 cents on Robinhood. I was like, why am I holding this? This is hers. Oh yeah, Robinhood wouldn't allow it at first. And then once they allowed the Dogecoin to be transferred from another exchange, that's when I did it. Forgot about that. That's something newer still. But I really am trying to see how this plays out. I want to see if this plays out truthfully. I really do. And, oh yeah, AMP. I promised to talk about AMP too. I want to talk about this before I forget. AMP is up 5.79%. I think it's underperforming as well. I think AMP has more room here, but we'll see. You never quite can tell. You never quite can tell. I bought this. I remember I was sitting here last night with Julie, and I'm like, Julie, and it was about, Julie, what time was that? About 9 o'clock last night?
For what?
When we were talking about AMP? Yeah. 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
But it was somewhere, I remember the price was right around 356, and we were talking, and I decided to buy it on, I showed her this V shape, looked like a W, broke down to the bottom, and she said, go for it. And it was only a spot position, but it was just over 1 million tokens. And she was like, holy crap, kind of thing. But it sounded good. But it was where I thought it was going to be good. It was like 3527. I can never remember exactly where it was at. Somewhere over here. I'll just say 3538. Sounds good. So it's up 7.1% from where I bought it right now. But I was really thinking when I bought it that it could come all the way up here and retest at 0043. And I've had good history with AMP in the past where I've been able to buy it at certain times after big drops and this year alone, we were able to buy it. But like GOAT's up 34% today. So when I say that I feel like AMP's underperforming, I could have bought GOAT instead of AMP. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, am I happy I'm up 7.1%? Sure. But, I was watching something. I got to where I wanted to go with AMP. And then, that's why I don't like to chase through other things. 7.1% is good enough. Good enough, And now I have to see if it plays out. I did not buy GOAT. That's what I was saying. I had the opportunity to buy GOAT. But I decided to buy AMP. And it's not because I was saying I'm going to buy AMP or GOAT. My mind was just on AMP and not GOAT. So I did not even focus on even buying it. But, I could have. I certainly could have. But that's the breaks, right? That's the breaks, my friend. And then you sit and you look around and it's like the ones that seem to be underperforming a little bit, You've got Quant up 6.6%, but then you start looking across the board. You got Telecoin up 18.3, Goat up 34, VELO up 14.2, Gala up 13, SHX up 21.7, AMP up 5.7. You know, you see what I'm saying? We've got Doge up 16%, IOTX up 10%, Algo up 9%. Algo up 7%, Ethereum up 12.4, and that's what gives me the hope that AMP has still got another leg. AMP usually rolls when Ethereum's rolling, but it doesn't necessarily do it at the exact same time. Sometimes it's slightly delayed because it does it in such a magnificent fashion. Oh, the last time I remember, I felt like this. I don't think it's going to do similar, though. I don't think it's going to go 300% in like 3 days. But that's what happened last time. We had a setup similar, and then it just exploded. Now, the market is cooperating right now. The market is cooperating with things, so I'm excited. You know, I'm excited. I'm excited about the market, but at the same time, I know we're going to get that grand calamity at some point. I just had to start from the beginning and heard your speech about dark and light time. You are the dog's bullock, mate. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel strongly about that, too. I feel strongly about it. And I just, you know, sometimes you got to look at things a certain way, and then you can see why certain things fall the way they do. But anyhow, I want to see this play out. I want to see this bull flag play out. It's got a nice W reversal. It's already starting to break out. What we're starting to do is we want to start to hold right where we're at. We're literally want to hold this 54.36 area. This is where we want to hold, and this is where we would like to make our stomping ground and start to break out here. We really would. We would like, see how this is starting to do this? Remember what we were talking about with Ethereum? Now, it could very well break down on us. It could break down and invalidate this, and then, you know, it ends up not working out the way I expect, because that is very possible. Crypto's a guessing game after all, most of the time in the early stages of these run-ups. But we can see how it's starting this little channel here, which is good. Only because I like to see some consistency with what I'm seeing in other assets. And if we look at this Ethereum did the same thing up. And then it had this nice push. Looks like another bull flag here that should maybe top us up one more layer. But we'll see. Like I said, we'll see. It's always a quick diagnostics. Just like this, it's going up, going up. Now we should get a separation here up to the first target of 55 cents roughly. Now, if the separation comes and it's over 55 and it holds, then we should continue the separation at some point to 55.46. This is what I am envisioning based on the technicals in front of me. So I trade accordingly. Heck, sometimes I see it in front of me and I end up losing. It happens. I'm okay with that. That's trading, baby. Oh, where can you, here. If you want to copy trade, and hey, remember, if you're copy, you could lose hundreds of dollars copy trading. There's no secret here. I'm trading this formation, and if it breaks down, you can get in trouble here, and you would just lose some money. But my leverage trading is not connected to my spot trading. I have one, like right now, because of the trade we made earlier, I think I'm slightly over $200. But my account right now has $4,000 in it. $200. I put 170, but it was up a little bit, or 175 or 80. I don't know what it was, but like $200 out of my $4,000 accounts in leverage. So think about that. $3,800 is locked away right now in USDC. Or no, it's not. It's an AMP. What am I talking about? But that's the point. My spot positioning, that's how much money is in spot in comparison to how much is in leverage. So consider that before you do this. I have a very, like 3%, 2% of my portfolio. That's it. Actually, less than 1%. So, but you can definitely do it. You can go to BITUNIX. You got to click on that link, sign up to the exchange. And then once you get your money in, you click on the copy trading, and then you can certainly follow me. I don't encourage you to do it, but if you want to do it, you can absolutely do it. And even if you're not, that's where I would encourage everybody to trade. I think today, right now, if you figure it all out, we're up about, I don't know, and this could easily turn around. So, like, I don't even want to talk about it. Like, I don't talk about it. But everybody, certain people were bringing it up in the chat, so I have to at least do my due diligence. But after this, like, I am not going to talk about it again. Our P&L right now cumulatively is up about 19.8% since and we started today down like 5% from the test trade. So it's had a 24% turnaround today if you know, so that's basically where we're at right now. But that could easily turn around, so you know, I don't know if this is going to play out or not. So no risk, no reward, but no reward, no risk. So I just kind of let this play out, and if it breaks down, it breaks down, and if it breaks the bull flag, I'm got to take like a 35% loss. You know, that's just the way it'll go. It's on like 130 bucks, so it's not the end of the world, but it is what it is. So anyhow, that's what we're watching for right now. We got 29 minutes until the daily close. If we look at the daily candle, and this is seemingly doing what Ethereum was doing, we just need to continue to have this choppiness here until we can get that eventual quick hit, you know, and then you want to keep seeing, and then eventually you want to see some kind of maybe surge up because you want to get some separation, but it seems like we're continuously running the same kind of thing here all the way up. So we'll see if it can continue to play it as we get closer to this close here. It always makes me interested when we get towards the daily close and then we flip the other side. That's where it can get a little tricky. It gets a little tricky when we start flipping to the other side. Let's see. No, HOTCOIN was unfortunately, and it wasn't that I didn't like it, and we were up like almost $300. It's just whenever I would open an XRP trade, it would start us like 13% down, anywhere from 9.5 to 13% on a 10x trade. On BITUNIX, it started us exactly where I opened the trade, so I don't have to deal with that. Plus the fees were way too high on with the copy trading on the other exchange. And BITUNIX just started it. That's the only reason I was trying to find other exchanges to do it. But anyhow, I don't that's all with that. But it's just kind of like a waiting game here. Let's go into the Bitcoin heat liquidation map while I still have some time with all of you, because my son's gonna be going to bed soon, and you know, sometimes I got 45 minutes here, sometimes I got an hour, sometimes I get 25 minutes. So let's see the liquidation heat map for Bitcoin. And we know we're going to have some liquidations underneath us. That is a for sure thing here. But above us, see how we've come all the way up here now? Now it opens up the door to get this top liquidity at 77K. We talked about almost 78K earlier, but the fact we've come all the way up here, it does lead some sense here. Where's this at? There was that 300 million area. 53. So there's some liquidity here. There's definitely some liquidity here. Let's do this in the daily real quick, just see what we've created in the last day as well. I'm very interested because I want to see where Bitcoin's targeting. See, it seems to be targeting that 77K. Look how close we are to that. We're only about 1,400 points here from coming up to that liquidity zone. It seems like that's the spot. That seems to be the target there. I want to see how, that's what I've been waiting for, that reaction at 77K. I think I talked about it in my update this morning. It was either 77 or 78 I talked about. But I've been waiting for that upper area touch. So, let's see in the weekly. See, it is in that area. That's 77K, 76.9, 77. I mean, you've got a lot of liquidity up there for where we're at. Since we've already cleared the rest of it out, it does lead credence to maybe taking that out too. Maybe taking that out too. And then, you know, as we go down farther, we know from a monthly perspective what we're searching for later. And I was hoping we would knock this out before this big jump up, because we were so close. We only had to come down 3,000 points what we failed. So, because we've got this now it's 1.23 billion at 64,650. So at some point, I feel like we're going to come there. But I do feel like now we should tap that 77K and get that liquidity. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. But I feel like there's a better than not shot that we're going to try to come up there now in the shorter time frames and try to grab that liquidity. Like, look at the 12-hour chart even. We can see it. It's a blistering spot up there. We don't even if we don't want to acknowledge it, it's blistering. That 77K, it's lit up there in comparison to the rest of the areas. Like up here, maybe, but this area, it's tight right here. This is the tight area of actual liquidity. And since we're so close, I mean, it seems strange we wouldn't just go there and grab it. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm actually fascinated to see how this plays out. We've got 24 minutes until the daily close. We're at 75,750 right now. XRP still sitting in about, I think it's a smidge higher than when we started. I think it was at like 54.26 or something. But we went from 54.26 to 54.48, and now we're at 54.34. So it's interesting. Let's take a look at some of these liquidations while we still got a minute. So the long-short ratio right now, we've got 2.47 to 1 in the 5 and 30 minute. 71.1% are still going long, the 28.8% going short. In the hourly and 4 hourly, we've got a 2.46 to 1 going long to short, 71.12% going long, 28.88% going short. And in the daily, it's a 2.56 to 1. So in the daily, more people are going long, 71.93% to 28.07% going short. The last 24-hour liquidations are, as we see, 824,000 were long liquidations, 2.4 million in short liquidations, a stark contrast from what we've seen just a few short days ago. And the biggest culprit was Bybit, Binance, and Huobi, it looks like. Funding rate should be probably positive right now. Yep. Open interest, let's see where we're at in the last 24 hours, because it always helps to paint a picture so we can see volume and things like that. Papa, welcome in. Better late than never, my friend. Better late than never. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. I greatly appreciate that. So the open interest in the last 24 hours is up 6.05% overall. The perpetuals market has 559.2, and the futures has 2.2. Total is 561.4, and like I said, up 6.05%. And leading the way looks to be Bybit, then Binance. So that's where we sit right now in the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Let's see. Sits at 70 still. Last week was extreme greed. It's amazing that it's only at 70 right now with what's been transpiring. But we get another update in 21 minutes, so it very well could push a little bit higher here as well. So now what I want to do is, let's see. I would like to look at if any news has popped up here at the end of this while we're doing this. Let's see. XRP price prediction for November 6th. No. This is interesting. Only because this could bring in more upward speculation for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin hits 77K and we get that liquidity zone and that's where we want to go down, yes. I do. But I still expect XRP to finish off this little bull flag that should bring us up at least 54.9 to 55.3 on the short end. And then overall, though, it looks like it wants to get us up to that 57 cent area. So like 77K Bitcoin, 57 cent XRP for the rejection on the cup and handle. And then I could see it coming back down. There's the area I was targeting was 42. It was either 47.7 or 42, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. But I'm running short on time here, everybody. I'm going to read this. And then, actually, I'm not going to read this because that's more speculation. But I want to go hang out with Julie here before our son falls asleep here in a couple minutes. But that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So 77K, and like I said, for me, XRP, I'm looking at it to see if this bull flag plays out. It seems like it's trying to, but we always have to see if it just ends up pulling at some point, ends this little hurrah, the little bit of a push up, and see exactly how it plays out, because who knows? Nobody knows. Nobody knows, but right now we see a lot of other things pumping. It leads me to believe that there is still a little bit more left here. I feel like there's still a little bit more left here for Bitcoin. So that's just my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. But we'll see, you know. That's why it's exciting in crypto. Nothing's ever a sure thing. Canto, I bought Canto. I don't even know what that is. I like what we did here tonight. I think I'm going to leave it here. I like what I did tonight. I know Julie's waiting on me, so have a blessed evening, everybody. We had 40 beautiful minutes together, and tomorrow we'll try to do it better. I promise. But thank you, and hopefully you consider everything I've said this evening, and stay positive.